Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today it's with great pride that I'm unboxing Audiolab's 7000 series CDT. This is their mid-priced, mid-performing CD transport. Firstly, it's the first in the range that has a slot, a CD drive, a tray in and out. The 6000, which is the entry-level CD transport, has a slot. The range, the 6000, 7000 and 9000, are designed to complement each other both aesthetically and find a balance of price and quality associated with every element of its function. The CD, now the reason this is a transport, a CDT, is that Audiolab invest in a very smart, a very functional integrated amplifier with excellent digital to analog conversion on board. Multiple optical, multiple coax, and even HDMI and USB to ensure that a relatively dumbed down CD transport can complement the range. Rather than any overlap or duplication of features, this gives you an excellent, brilliantly clocked, firm, it does its job perfectly. And in its price, way better than its competition and way more cost effective than buying a CD player of comparable quality. So, let's have a look. Firstly, the packaging. Now, brilliant to see, all of the 6000, 7000, 9000 range. The boxes are simple, but they are wrapped in plastic to ensure that they have managed sort of that water associated with perhaps a rainy day in the courier, or maybe it gets left on the front porch in a scattered shower or something like that. It also means that it's kept dry and potentially free of anything associated with shipping, damage, and all of those things associated with couriers. It also means that, freight labels and stuff, well, that can be discarded and you end up with a lovely box. So, let's get rid of that first layer, which is a pretty straightforward process, just sort of nicking and tearing, just to get rid of the plastic. Most of it tears naturally, the odd nick just helps it along. So as I alluded to, as soon as you get rid of that plastic, you're into Audiolab's classic brown boxes. On one end they have a statement associated with their 3-year manufacturer-backed warranty, a QR code that takes you to Audiolab's website, and scannable information associated with the model and serial number. The Audiolab 7000 CDT plastered on one side, and a bit of basic freight and stacking information here, along with the phone number for Audiolab. Opening these boxes, very, very straightforward. They are taped closed with a fabric sort of paper tape, so a little bit more care needs to be taken when opening the product. Having a look for the first time as we open it up, we'll see a couple of things that's current across the entire range. Firstly, a big and comprehensive user manual. Then, closed cell foam to hold it in place, but also, see the accessories? There's an additional piece of closed cell foam cut specifically to protect the front of the unit, and the accessories and foam add a significant barrier for any impact that might associate with that cosmetic damage that can happen in freight. The packaging, the accessories itself are in a separate carton, as I alluded to. There is a New Zealand earthed IEC power cord and a remote control. The remote control is protected in its own little bubble bag. Look, it's worth mentioning that the remote doesn't come with batteries, and it's a system remote control, so it will operate all of the Audiolab range. Obviously this is cosmetically designed to go with the 7000A integrated amplifier, so if you want to see that, it's up here. Nevertheless, the remote, reminder that the remote control has 3 buttons associated with what you are trying to control. CD player, A for amp, and N for its network streamer. Lifting it out, really straightforward. Revealing in the bottom, desiccant bags and other things like that, and off it goes. Closed cell foam cut to the shape of the CD transport, and getting it out of that last one very easy. The unit itself is protected finally with a little sort of soft bag, sellotaped closed in a couple of locations, and removing that bag is really straightforward. Like the 7000A integrated amplifier, this has isolation feet and some heavyweight rubber padding to ensure that if this is a stack of complementary products, it's pretty straightforward to ensure that they're vibration free. Nevertheless, looking at it for the first time, we see over here the 7000 CDT screen printing and a simple enough standby light. As I alluded to, this is the first with a tray. It's a steel, very silent operation. In fact, look, they've developed a way of ensuring that transmission jitter is virtually eliminated. They use a differential line drive. They'll run up to, the CD-ROM reads ahead, so it's like rereading. It means that as it's reading the disc, it'll overcome a few minor scratches and things like that, but more importantly, buffer the information ready for the clock and the output, the digital outputs, to ensure that they're all in time, in sync, and ready for a decent DAC. Again, differential line driver is what they call the technology. Essentially, it's a way of ensuring that the read is absolutely perfect. It runs at something like 32 bits, but obviously Redbook standard at 44.1 kilohertz. Nevertheless, central display to complement the rest of the 7000 range with a central oval window. Then we've got a basic button configuration associated with inputs and outputs, play, stop, pause, skip, and skip backwards as well. Obviously open and close and stop. Now, you've got an IR sensor, again for the system remote, and then a simple enough standby button. Screen printed beneath that is the Audiolab logo. The CD transport doesn't have any ventilation on the top, as you would expect. It's not running hot. And it means that the top surface is ready for perhaps the integrated amplifier or the next piece of Audiolab kit that you've invested in. It's not very deep, but it's worth noting it's identically width and depth associated with the complementary 7000 amp. Looking at the back, it's pretty boring, and this kind of masks the investment that Audiolab have made internally to ensure it's making such a good read of the CD that's on board. Firstly, we see a back panel almost absent of inputs and outputs, but we do see an IEC power input that's fused, a simple enough rocker switch, screen printing associated with the brand and the model number. Some warnings associated with this is a laser product, and then we've got a 5 volt 1 amp input. Now, I'll pause. And one of the reasons it's got input buttons on the front is that this will be a transport for a hard drive, a large portable hard drive, something like that. It means that this can be utilised for a myriad of different sources if required. Nevertheless, to complement it, we've got trigger on and off to ensure that the amplifier and the streamer and the CD transport all turn on and off in a sequence. We've got the 12 volt in and a link out again. We've got a very easy to understand Toslink optical output and coax digital. Beneath those is the model's serial number. Off to one side, of course, a few electrical compliances and CE ticks and other things along those lines. Right, there we have it. Audiolab's excellent 7000 CDT CD transport, unboxed here at the Listening Post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.